How's it going, Tallmadge High School? Welcome back to another episode of Tallmadge TV.
And we hope everyone had a phenomenal spring break and are looking forward to only 40 more days left of school.
40 days?
Yep, and it's even shorter for you and the rest of the seniors.
Wow, let's just hope these days fly by. Anyways, I'm Jerry Walsh.
And I'm Danny Macchiarole.
And I'm Jackson Klum.
And I'm Kara Mayfield.
And this is Tallmadge TV.
All right, let's jump right into those announcements. Vaughn?
For any students who are taking the AP Psychology test, daily review sessions are now being held during A Academy and Mrs. Craig's room. Make sure to attend as many of these reviews as you can to boost your test score. And finally, the ACT review session this Saturday will cover the math portion of the ACT test. As always, the session costs $25 and lasts from 8 a.m. to noon in Mrs. Conway's room. And this concludes your morning announcements.
Thanks, Vaughn, but you should have mentioned something about tonight's NCAA championship game.
Why would he mention anything about that? It's not even school related.
Because, Danny, teachers should not assign any homework to us students because we're all going to be watching the game.
Oh, I see what you're going for. But something like that belongs more in the sports segment. Speaking of that, let's take it over to sports.
Out of the ridiculous amount of scores we have for this week, both the boys and girls track teams had phenomenal performances at both of their meets, always placing either first or second place. Along with that, the softball team won every single game they played in Tennessee, therefore going 4-0 over spring break. Amazing job, everyone. Now let's go to the schedule. Coming up this week, the baseball team has games on Wednesday and Thursday, and the softball team has their games on Tuesday and Saturday. Also, both the boys and girls track teams have a meet this Friday, and the Winter Guard has their state competition coming up this Saturday. And this is normally where we cut back to Jerry and Danny, but you may have heard about this one-on-one bowling match between Gabe, Griffith, and Kirsten that took place about a week ago. For those of you who weren't able to attend, we're giving you a quick summary of the Gabe versus Kirsten bowling match. The match itself consisted of 3 separate games, and whoever scored the most points over the course of these 3 games would claim the victory. So starting with game 1, we see the majority of both strikes and spares from this game in particular, with both Gabe and Kirsten at their full strength for the match. There were a couple of rough spots here and there, but in the end, this game came very close, and it concludes with Gabe at 225 points and Kirsten with 191. Then in game 2, as we see a slight decrease in the number of strikes from each player, we also see an increase in the number of spares on each scoreboard, along with a few more of those rough spots. For this game, Gabe ended up claiming the majority of strikes, adding another 181 points to his score, putting him at a total of 406 points. Kirsten then ends game 2 with 149 points, which brings her to a total of 340. It then comes down to game 3, and it's best to describe this game as the exact opposite of game 2. We still see the same slight decrease in strikes and increase in spares overall, but this time Kirsten claimed the majority of strikes for the game. This in turn gave her the higher score for game 3, which added another 190 points to her score for a grand total of 530 points. However, with Gabe ending game 3 with 159 points, he ends up with a total of 565, leaving Gabe with the victory of the match. Although, the match may not be over, as there's been discussion of a possible rematch on Twitter, but until then, we'll leave it here. Now, let's take it back to Jerry and Danny.
Thanks, Vaughn. That was pretty cool, but I still can't believe how we only have 40 days left.
I know, it's nuts. And if your senioritis hasn't kicked in yet, it's probably right around the corner.
It'd be cool if we had a countdown clock or something so students could realize they only need to keep trying for a couple more weeks.
Hey, that's actually a pretty good idea. And we could just show it during the weather, so that way people start paying attention to that slide.
Vaughn, you heard us. Make it happen. Please.
Thanks, Vaughn. I bet that looks pretty cool. Jerry, what the heck are you doing?
I saw it, Danny. The Wii cursor. It was coming for me.
What Wii cursor? Vaughn edits these things in post-production. We can't even see a Wii cursor.
Danny, you don't know what I've been through.
Jerry, can you just snap out of it? We have a segment to get to.
Yeah. We have Scott Seeker at Redmond, Washington, and Nintendo of America. Scott, how great is America?
It's still pretty great. Back to you.
Thanks, Scott. And well, I'm Danny Macchiarole, and that's Jerry Walsh, and this has been Tallmadge TV. Be incredible, and we'll keep on being credible. Stay tuned for next week.
The Wii cursor, Danny. It was coming for me.
Vaughn edits these things in post-production. We can't even see the Wii cursor.
Yeah, you're right.
I guess you're right. All right, time back to Tallmadge TV.